Yeah, I'm on mute.
Alex, just with the physicality that you guys had, I mean, where are you guys at in terms of, I guess, physicality as far as tackling, and how do you get better at that?
Yeah, I thought we didn't hold up very well in that respect. I think certainly at times for stretches and all that stuff. I think some of it's from a physical standpoint. I think other times it's just the, a couple places, a lack of tackle attempt in some respects. And so, you didn't really get into the physical aspect of things. I certainly thought late in the game, just an inability to, get the ball carrier on the ground, and what you saw early in the game. I just thought, diving at the ground, just that a lot of techniques and fundamentals from that standpoint, which obviously goes back to us as coaches. We got to do a better job. And then the tail end funneling off the tackles and that hasn't been us, but obviously it was us tonight, and we paid the price for it.
Jason Kersey.
Yeah, Alex, where do you guys go from here? I mean, what's next for you this week after two disappointing performances like that?
Yeah.
What's the next week going to look like?
Yeah, what's next? You throw work at it. So much of any issue that we have, it's simple, but it's not easy. The fix is right there in front of us. Every tackle that was missed tonight is one that has to be made. There's not anything we can do in football that doesn't include finishing a football play, but by tackling the ball carrier, and that was something that was obviously disappointing. So is the fix simple? Yeah. Is it easy? Of course not. But you got to throw work at it. You got to be take an honest evaluation, and not fall into the doom and gloom side of things. We got to look at the video, and we got to get better. But the easy answer, or the simple answer, we got to throw work at it, identify a problem, and we got to be much better next week.
Caleb McCurry.
Alex, Bookie had some trouble with penalties tonight, and Trey Brown had a costly one down the stretch as well. How much did Alexis kind of come into play tonight?
Well, it always does. I mean, discipline is a big part of the game, and so when you talk about penalties, you talk about takeaways, you talk about giving guys extra outs, using the baseball analogy. And when you do that, you have an opportunity to get off the field, and you don't get off the field. It's amazing how often you get penalized for it in terms of score. And so we got to be cleaner than that. It's tough sometimes in the moment to see exactly what took place. So that's something we got to analyze on film. The other side of it is, okay, do you get passive? Right, and so you got to be aggressive in coverage. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. Obviously, when the ball's in the air, you got to get your hands off. But the other side of it, do you play passive and watch guys catch balls in front of you? And so some matchup deals tonight. Obviously from a size standpoint, and so the answer is aggression, but it's got to be smart aggression, and certainly. Some of the key situations that we got to do a better job at.
Barry Trammell.
Yeah, Alex, the slant they hit you with, the 65-yarder, it looked like linebackers and safety didn't seem to be blitzing, but they also didn't seem to drop. What exactly happened on that play?
Yeah, that's an RPO, as I would be described, run pass option for the offense. In I can't remember if it was a 12 or 13 personnel set, so multiple tight ends in the game, and you take your shots at attempted to be aggressive to stop the run and add extra defenders in the front, and say, okay, if they run a slant or something in the pass game, we got to hold up at corner. You can't always have an extra guy in every location, whether it's in the post, whether it's on the half. So on and so forth. And so, no, they took advantage of it. That's one of those things. We're in the position to make a play. They made one. We did not. And obviously, you're not. You don't put your corners in that no deep situation. Every single snap. But we got to hold up when we do, and ultimately get them on the ground if we're not going to make a play on the ball.
Kerry Murdoch.
Alex, you have the strip sack by Isaiah Thomas, and it looks like, you guys have been so up and down, but it looks like you have a chance to kind of show off some complimentary football there. I don't know, how much does that bother you to see that it just, kind of goes all for naught and the kickoff return, goes back to the 13-yard line? I mean, that seemed like a sequence that really could have, bolstered this team and this defense.
Oh, no question. I think, you mentioned the complementary football. You got to hold up your end from a defensive standpoint. I think there's certainly opportunities that, we didn't take advantage of tonight. And so much of it, I think, just as I continue to evaluate over the last couple of weeks is, what you got to be the same defense, play 1, play 30, play 50, play 60. And what you're seeing on film right now from a week ago, and then what you saw tonight is just too much of the roller coaster. The same guy that shows an ability to play elite coverage on a particular snap is the same guy that has a breakdown later in the game. Same guy that's making tackles, being a solid contributor for us defensively. Doesn't do so. Opportunities that to get two hands on footballs in the pass game again have a tendency right now for us to not come down with it. And those things in the end, those missed opportunities, continue to hurt us. And so that's something obviously we got to get better at, and just ultimately really disappointing. And again, it comes back to coaching. We got to do a better job with those guys to secure those plays.
Thanks, Alex.
Brandon Drum.
Yeah, Alex. I asked Lincoln earlier if he could sense a frustration with the missed tackles, and it continually happened. Did you sense that, and how did y'all combat that during the game? And do you all, as far as he also said there's depth on the defense, on the back end of the defense. Do you see yourselves possibly giving looks for some of those younger guys down the line, maybe even possibly this week?
No, that's something that you'll certainly analyze. Are we playing individual guys too many snaps? That's something that you evaluate every single week. What are positive or negative results? No, I think when your number's called, when you're in a position to make a play, you're expected to make a play, and whether that's in the defensive front, the linebacking core or on the back end. Obviously, the ones on the back end, when you miss those, obviously, then that's the one that shows up and turns into an explosive play. And been disappointed with a couple of, especially with guys that we have seen make those plays in the past. Whether experienced guys from a year ago, or guys as you go through the fall camp first couple games, and I think it's just that consistency aspect of things that we're not finding right now. On any individual guy on our defense is just a very inconsistent performance over the last 2 weeks, and when you play that way, you're going to get punished for it. When you do things right, it's amazing how this game rewards you. I think we talked about that this week, and when you don't, it punishes you. Again, we got to do a much better job as coaches.
2 more questions. James Hale.
Alex, the one unit that part of your defense that played a really solid game overall was the pass rush. Your defensive line, you were able to put pressure. Your one turnover came from there. Talk about that particular part of your defense, and especially Isaiah Thomas, who really it looked like a solid game tonight.
No, I thought we played hard up front. I think, and when I analyzed the video, I thought maybe late, a couple opportunities for our defensive front to get a stop in the backfield that we missed, and ultimately got to get him down in the secondary. But no, I thought there was certainly some positives, and it's responsible obviously to look at those things and praise those individuals for doing things right. But obviously the negative far outweighs any positives as you leave the stadium tonight.
Thanks.
Last question, John Hoover.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Alex, so many college football games, especially at this level, are won in the fourth quarter. How disappointed are you that it's second week in a row that you guys give up double-digit scoring in the fourth quarter and couldn't get off the field, ended up giving up a couple touchdowns? Well,
it's one of those things you can talk about till you're blue in the face, and believe me, it's something that we make a huge emphasis of in our program. We talked about finish, not just this week, but certainly was the top of the discussion, coming off of last week. Unfortunately, I got to echo what I said maybe a week ago. Just failing to get these guys to play at a high level for 4 quarters, and that falls on me. And it's something that again, the only quarter you can win a football game is the fourth, It's a tremendous opportunity, again, in Power 5 football, Big 12 football, to have an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. You do so much to put yourself in that situation, and you got to take advantage of it. This is 2 weeks in a row where we haven't and have failed to do those things. And so, you continue to emphasize it. You want to say, let's stop talking about it, to actually go do it, but we got to continue to talk about it. That's what we have to do. But the finish aspect of things will never go away, and it's very difficult to play any high level football through 3 quarters and not do it in the fourth quarter and then come out with a win. And so, no, that's obviously an issue. It's a red flag, waving in the wind, and we got to do a better job as coaches getting our guys to finish.